still thought it was worthwhile going, just in case we did see him.
After 3 days of waiting, Christian finally arrived at the compound.
Of course, he did turn up again. And this time, he was very different from the year before. He had matured considerably. He was much, much bigger. He was much more, I'm grown up now.
He was so incredibly handsome, incredibly lovely. All lions loved him, all humans loved him. He was extraordinary. He lost none of his charisma.
He'd be sitting with us and then suddenly he'd get up and he'd just walk away and sit somewhere else.
We were undoubtedly more superfluous to his life.
It was like, now I've got lion things to do.
Christian might be a proud adult lion, but he hadn't forgotten all of his playful London ways.
The very last night we had with Christian really was enormous fun.
Everyone was so relaxed and laughing and he was just happy to be around him.
We were all smoking cigarettes in those days and drinking. So, of course, we all were up all night laughing and joking and Christian being silly.
Sitting on us, on the table, totally disrupting us.
And the next day he goes back up to the lionesses. Christian, of course, being up all night was kind of obviously he had a night out with the boys. Kind of just turned around and went, oh, wallop, and just collapsed, just that's it, girls, I've had it. We went up to see him that night, and he'd gone.
You think you will be back, you will hear news, it'll be a continuing story. And in fact, it was the last time.
He'd gone. He wasn't going to come back.
John and Ace never saw Christian again.
He was no longer dependent on any of us. And that was the most wonderful success. He'd done it.
We just hoped that he'd found his own territory, had his own cubs, had his own pride, and had a marvellous, normal, natural life.
Christian, the lion cub from Harrods, was given the chance to live the life of an African lion. He might have gone on to survive another 10 years in the wild. John and Ace are convinced that they did the right thing, giving him back his freedom. They have now updated their book, A Lion Called Christian, that tells his inspirational story. But it was the first internet posting of their reunion clip by a Californian student in 2006 that turned their story into a global phenomenon.
Hi!
Hello!
I'm John. I just really believe that video needed to be seen. I was surprised it wasn't anywhere else on YouTube or on the internet anywhere else. I couldn't find anything.
Joy, really.
To date, the reunion has had almost 50 million hits.
Why do you think it has been so popular on YouTube?
Well, I think it's striking people on a very powerful basis of love. I'm really glad that the internet's out there and is raising awareness, and I'm glad to have been a part of it.
It's like a gift to the world, really. That's how we see it.
Special hug. Thank you.
Special hug.
It is quite mind-boggling. 50 million people have watched the reunion video. And we do wonder, how can we harness that incredible goodwill and interest? So I do think it's all meant to be. I think possibly it's a cry for Africa from Christian from 40 years ago.
If he can raise awareness of conservation and the need to protect endangered species, what a fantastic legacy he's left. Thank you, Christian.
Next week, The Zoo returns with all new episodes taking you behind the scenes at Australia's top zoos. You'll see the extraordinary birth of 2 snow leopards.
Look at that. Okay.
But there's one more hurdle for these cubs.
Some cubs could actually be born blind.
Also, a silverback gorilla with a painful problem.
It's actually a lot worse than I thought.
Slow it down. Someone just dropped him off.
And keepers pull out all stops for a baby wombat to survive.
That's something that happens with chronic stress.